Hey everybody, I'm AdamHarry with
Goatboy, who can actually talk again.
Woo! Welcome back, dude. We're here from the BoLS to talk about the new Codex Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle. This is the limited edition book from the new Army box set.
It's the only way you get it is in the new Army box set.
Currently. But
Currently.
they might watch this video in the future, and then it'll be out.
Oh yeah. So I think it's supposed to come out next year.
We'll see. But we have it. We've had a little bit of time to go through it.
Very quickly, because I just looked at it for a little bit. There is some very interesting stuff.
Exactly, and we're not going to do a page-by-page rundown of this book, but we are going to go through some of the interesting things we did spot.
There's a back cover to it.
Yes, there's a back cover. I wanted to show because this is the special edition.
Yeah,
book,
so it's a special edition.
Fancy.
It's a pretty fancy book. It is in the same format as everything
Yeah.
else. It just doesn't have the normal thing on it. It has a nice piece of art that's basically what you'd say a full art picture.
Yeah.
So that's nice. I mean, the book looks good. The minis look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just from a quick parse when I went through looking at it, it's gorgeous. It's a reworked army.
It is. They have some new stuff in here. We're going to hit some of the highlights again. We're not going to go page by page. We're going to tackle some of the interesting things, though. So, table of contents real fast. Now, if you're reading this at home, you might notice, if you look closely, there's a couple of units in there we haven't seen before.
There's a couple of things I haven't seen before. There's a couple of things that might not have model pictures in for. Currently. There's a couple weird things on here. It's an odd... It's an odd thing. It's the first time we've seen this in this new 40K.
Yeah, we haven't seen GW create, let's call them data sheets for units that don't have models yet, which is interesting. So this is the first time.
Yeah, so it's just an odd setup.
Yeah.
Because
but speaking of one of the new models that is in the book that you can see actually on the next page is this one right here. This of course is Judith, and I'm gonna butcher this last name. Eureka. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, this one right here, Judith Eureka. She's a new character.
She's the one on the pulpit running around yelling at you, telling you get your homework turned in.
Yep.
And maybe hit you with I was raised Catholic with nuns in a private Catholic school, so maybe I got hit by a ruler at some point. You know, the nuns in my school were really nice. So I was like, if that was my nun running around with me, I would have done just as good in school as I did.
There you go. Again, lots of really cool artwork in this
Why
book.
do they hate the Tau? What did the Tau do? They're just trying to do... No, I hate the Tau too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like them.
Well, this is what happens when you get to the Tau gun line. See,
it's
clearly gone bad for the Tau. Look, their drones are on fire. Anyway,
the drone failed their 5-up Feel No Pain when they took
bingo. You do get a ton of background here too. We're not going to go through the background, obviously, but what's cool about the background section is it does tackle some of the new units that we haven't seen before. You get a look at their organization, which is really intense, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff.
Like I said, it's a pretty heavy design book. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of when they went through and did a whole they reimagined the book.
Yeah,
they really reimagined the Sisters of Battle, which is really interesting when it's like from a full kind of step down. Which when you start thinking about some of the Marine stuff and how much they basically redesigned them for Primaris, this is another kind of similar take of like a full breakdown. You know,
it goes into a lot of detail. There was detail before, but I feel like this just takes it to a whole other level. So
there's the most lovely picture we see. A wonderful kind of like probably one of their initial drawings for the redesign.
Yeah.
And we saw the model when we got one of the
limited edition Sisters model. Yeah.
And it's
This is the first time too we get into some of the armor design patterns like that, because obviously they're wearing power armor, but it's not Marine power armor. So you get their own armor patterns. It does go through a couple of the different, all of the different orders. These are different orders that you can choose later on.
When you build your army, you can build like a specific order, like everything else. And then of course it has it's a ton. Look at that, like new art. Like I said, they redesigned the book, which means that look at this crazy logos.
Yeah, real quick too. These are other orders. So if you wanted to kind of pick your own, or it's kind of like a chapters. What are they called? Not supplemental chapters. Successor chapters. They're similar to that, but they're not.
It's really interesting because they really went into a bigger aspect of explaining like different aspects of the Sisters, where it's not just all Arnold Schwarzenegger running around. It's it's actually what's over here, which is really interesting. Also befits the whole idea that this universe is always at war, so no one's going to be coming out of it looking great. Which I love. I'm very happy to see this like these models that look like they kick ass and take names, which is a really nice thing to see from a design purposes.
Yeah. Also want to point out to you, we get a little picture of another picture of the galaxy, and it kind of shows where these different orders are active, which I always like the maps.
I mean, whoever drank some grape juice was really bad, and then they had some blueberry juice, and it just got everywhere.
Just spilled it. We get the timeline, which we love the timelines. Again, take some time and actually read through that when you get the chance.
Well, it's always fun because you get as they start pushing these little narrative events and these little things going there, you're like, oh, the story is moving in a direction.
Yeah, it's actually moving forward. It's cool.
Look at this. This is brand new stuff because that's a new sorcerer, obviously.
Yep. We got him fighting some chaos militants here.
Look at that. The chaos Terminators. Only one guy has a chain axe because they only come one in the set. That's only in their out burn.
Yeah. This artwork actually shows up again in Faith and Fury. We get to see that. So I just wanted to, it's funny though. That's a side note, but we're gonna keep going. Here's where we get into some of the different units. I want to show this one off in particular.
There's a model that is not shown here. We've got ourselves a new saint.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Yeah. And it's not just a saint. It's like, so the only comparable thing I can think of is actually from Age of Sigmar, which is the Ossiarch Bone Reaper character Catacross, who is a big, awesome looking model, and he basically has a bunch of little dudes, little generals on him, and as they die, his stats change. We're gonna take a look at her stats.
She's important because basically she's the boss battle. Mm-hmm. So that's what she is in basic setup, is that she has the bones of whatever the saint, who's a ghost thing running around. Yep. You have all the other ones. It's kind of like the leaders of the orders, mm-hmm. and that's what they're fighting, which is really cool. And you know, this obviously is something when they come and release the book again, that's going to be a major factor next to the saint. And it does a lot of weird, interesting, odd stuff and stack stuff. Expect, everyone to most likely if they're playing Sisters will probably have this model in there.
Yeah, it's powerful. It is powerful. Yeah. Moving on to, there's again multiple units in here.
The biggest banner in the world. How does it work? I don't know.
I want to show.
Look at this. Like, it's just new art, and it's like
new art,
in a
new
different
stuff.
style. It's like they're
Yep. There's again the Ministorian Priests are back. They're in here too. We hit Penitent Engines, and then there's Mortifiers. There's Penitent Engines, and then Mortifiers.
And they're not Morty from Rick and Morty.
Morty! They're not. They're not.
So it's basically a gun, kind of more of a gun penitent. Now it has a flail. Platform. It has heavy bolters, so it's more of a bullet caddy than the penitent, just like assault. On
flamer. I'm gonna burn you.
So it's a weird I don't know. Like, it's not a model that's like the new kit. Is it a penitent? Just a straight penitent?
So I've seen the Penitent Engine kit from the Army box, which is where we got this from. That's not going to be the kit that ships from the individual box because the way it's cut on the sprue is very different. But we're speculating here, folks. But
I'm going to guess it's going to be like the Nargold blow drone thing, same thing where they had the blow drone, and then they came out of the box set with it's got other options.
I'm going to guess it's like the Chaos Obliterators that never should have.
Moving on. 15.0.
Again, here's where we get a look at some of the stuff in the army, and you can. We've kind of combed through this section to see if we could find any new models. The only one we found was Judith. So, unfortunately...
So it makes me think that...
This one right here.
Catherine might not be ready to have pictures taken, maybe?
Yeah, she's not ready for her... No photos. Moving on, I said we weren't going to go page by page, and we're not. But we're going to stop here and talk Acts of Faith real quick. Because this is probably going to be the most confusing part.
So Faith is not the same.
No.
Faith is, again, you heard about the miracle dice. You put it to the side. Mm-hmm. You can perform one act of faith.
Correct.
Per phase.
It says right here, you perform one act of faith. However, during the act of faith, you can choose as many dice as you need.
Now you will not. You don't. So the big difference is, you just decide to use those dice. You don't roll. You just decide to replace them with the dice from the miracle dice.
So miracle dice, again, if you're not familiar with those, you're basically going, when you earn one, you roll it. Whatever that result is, you put it to the side. So if I roll 6, I can save that 6 for later.
And guess what? Every single person who makes movement trays out of a little MDF and everything else, they're going to make a miracle dice movement tray holder if they were using it off the side.
There you go.
That's coming. You know it.
Yep.
Everyone get started.
So you have those to the side. You're going to save them. You can spend them on the following things right here: advance roll,
charge roll, deny the witch, hit roll, wound roll, saving throw, damage roll, morale test.
Morale test. Damage.
So you can basically, so when you perform, you pull as many. I think it says you pull as many dice as you want for what you're trying to do.
Right. For the example here would be my charge roll. So I want to charge. I would like to use my Act of Faith to use Miracle Dice. I then can pull 1 or 2 dice for the charge roll, and that was my charge roll. I don't roll those dice. If there is a situation, and they talk about it here, if there's more than 1 dice, you use the Miracle Dice, and then you roll the extra like normal. So I could pick 1 Miracle Dice and roll the other one.
Exactly.
So
it's pretty interesting, and now, like I said, it really helps that you're not remembering these rolls that you have to have. Like, oh, I got to get 3 plus do this. I got to get this. I got to do this. Now characters just work as their orders and just work. Stuff works, and then you can use this on top of it. Yeah. It reminds me of the Cycles of Zinch dice. Yep. Very similar to that.
Very similar from the Age of Sigmar again. This is a system I actually really like because it's tried and tested and it works. So you store them for later. Use them when you need to for specific things. It's just cool.
I think it's cool. It's just one of those things that I think I find interesting. Is we'll see how good it is because there's lots of ways to stack to gain other stuff to gain things on there.
This is the other big chunk of rules here. We've seen Shield of Faith. That's 6 up army-wide invuln save for Sisters as well. They also get to deny with only 1d6, so that's cool. Zealot is another same thing. But Sacred Rites, these are sort of new.
So basically, it's like the old days of, remember when Bretonians would pray before the lady and get something beforehand?
Pepperidge Farmer members.
So this is similar to that. So basically, they will say, I want to do this.
Yeah. This is if your whole army is Adeptus Sororitas and or Adeptus Ministorum. You can basically, these are kind of like chapter tactics. So you kind of pick which, in air quotes, your chapter you want to be.
You can either pick one that's the rest of the battle or roll 2.
Or roll 2. Yeah.
If you feel like it. Now, there's some interesting ones, like, and the fact you get a pick before the game is also really interesting. Like, that you have the Night of the Witch. There's one that add 3 to the total. Yeah. That means you can deny on to up to a 9, which is pretty good for a bunch of units all around.
Yep.
There's another one that shoots on a 5+ or fights on a 5+, just a model without a banner. You can add one of the advance roll and you make a charge roll. You can.
Yeah, but the point is, it's cool. These you can pick one. Or you can roll 2 times on this chart to figure out what you get.
I mean, it's a neat aspect. So, and there's a bunch of new units in the book. We won't go through the units because we're going to probably talk about some of them later because there's a bunch.
And by the way, just a heads up, it does say a duplicate roll result has no additional effect, but is considered to be active for the purpose of battle rights stratagem. So. Double's not great.
I mean, one of them, whatever holds. So,
there's a lot of new units in here. We're not going to show all of them off. I do want to show off Katherine because I think that's probably the coolest.
So, look, no picture.
There's no picture here, but there's a whole lot of rules.
So, she has 18 wounds.
Yeah.
And starts with 14 attacks.
Yeah.
And she has 5 relics.
So, how the relics work before everybody freaks out, she has her own set of relics here. As she loses models and stuff dies, you lose relics and stuff like that. The player that's pulling, in air quotes, pulling the models gets to choose which relics basically get disabled. And if somehow there's a game effects that allow her to regen, the player can then pick the relics that come back. So it's a boss fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some interesting stuff like she can do mortal wounds near her. Within 6 inches, and depending on if you're Chaos or Psyker, that has pluses to it, so you can start taking D3 mortal wounds. So you can start seeing weird stuff as she as the diorama trundles around.
And real quick, it's described as a single model equipped with 6 bolt pistols, the Martyr Sword, relic weapons, frag grenades, crack grenades. You can only include one of this model in your army. But it's described as back on the lore section, it's basically the platform with her bones, the reliquary with her bones, and a bunch of random other models that are following it around. It's this procession, right? So it's a really cool, completely bonkers unit. Again, with that boss fight kind of a feel to it.
And it's weird, it has a crazy sword, but it can only do 4 attacks with that crazy sword, and then it has other crazy attacks. So it's like this, it's this crazy amount of stuff, and they do a lot of weird little things. You can get a free Act of Faith off of it. Even if you've already done one in that phase, because you can only do 1 Act of Faith in a phase, but now it can do another.
You gain Miracle Dice every turn.
So it's just an interesting model. I'm really sad I don't get to the other because it's got to be badass.
It's gonna be bonkers, yeah. And you can kind of see the artwork down here, the idea of it. So It's really cool. I'm excited about this one. I'm going to skip around. We're not going to show off the rest of these units.
There's a lot. There's actually a lot of units, and because basically they redid all the models.
Yep.
Like, there's not going to be a not new model in this. It's going to be a
big release. I'm just going to keep flipping.
The mortifiers or no?
We'll pass them. I think we passed them, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the new.
This is the mortifier we're talking about. The only evidence we have that it's based off the Penitent engine too is the stat line. The mortifier stat line.
And
is
and a lot of the weapons are Penitent flail, Penitent something, so that makes sense.
Other than that, we've also got, and these are just quick teasers here. We've got the Order Convictions, which again, this goes back to kind of like the chapter tactics.
They're the chapter tactics, and then I increase that on. This is I think. If your army is Battleforge units and the sort of,
you can pick which one. Yeah. So, yeah, it's Order Convictions.
So basically, it's
these stack on top of the Sacred
this is the same as the Marine. If it's all Marines and they're all Sisters, they get 1 Marines. So it's the exact same rule as the Marine Codex rule. If you happen to have everyone be Sisters, or an Inquisitor is in there, Inquisitor doesn't count. Then they get to come in there. So it's.
Yeah, and then of course they're going to get stratagems, which we're not going to show off all of them.
I have a chance to read a lot of them.
There's 4 pages of stratagems. Warlord traits, Order Warlord traits are specific here too, and then relics, which we're not going to go through, but you can see 2 pages of relics right there, and the points.
Yeah. So overall, man, like it's a big book. Like there's a lot of models. I'm kind of, like you'll have your your main heavy guys that have a movie box. You'll have your main troops and they're split off from troops. You'll have your tank that can be whatever in the tank.
They're also probably going to get rhinos. The point is, the Sisters got a giant refresh. It's super cool. We're excited about the new models, the new rules. They're looking pretty solid from an army standpoint wise too. Yeah, Sisters players, it's been a long wait.
It is a new book. It is not going to play like before. It looks better or interesting from the beta for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They basically refreshed it, and it looks neat.
Thumbs up from us.
I mean, I will be looking through it and writing reviews up between all the Faith and Fury stuff I got to write about as well. So look for that in the coming weeks. And I don't know if I'm going to start Sisters. I just really like the models, but I think I want to finish an Ogre army, but Ogre army, and but these look nice.
Yeah, Sisters, they're back. I'm AdamHarry.
Hey, guess what? I'm Goatboy.
We're from BoLS Souls. Thanks for watching. Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.